This is a short rant or a discussion about how the Viking forefathers, but mainly the Vikings, fought ship-to-ship combat. The Viking ships, or the longboats, were very fast, very agile boats, ships, both able to be powered by rowers and also by sails. And doing this, they could reach significant speeds of up to 12 knots. So the way combat was done was mainly through ship-to-ship boarding actions, like what we see here. What the organization of the ships would be very specific. The king would have, or the jarl would have the biggest ship with the best warriors. Now the ships wouldn't just crash into each other like what they do here, and the guys wouldn't jump 5 meters across into the enemy ship. What they actually would do is they would actually use grappling hooks and ropes to tie the ships together, in essence making a land battle at sea. And the entire battle was about clearing the enemy ships of their soldiers. So in the front, the best warriors of the enemy and the Vikings would meet in the flat part on the front of the ship, and this is where the berserkers would be placed. Each king or jarl would have a few berserkers under his command, and these would be used as shock troops, as intimidation troops. They would go into a wild frenzy and try to hold away the enemy advance, while the rest of the army forms up in a sort of shield wall formation. And there would also be significant skirmishing from ship to ship. You wouldn't have dedicated skirmish ships, but you would have archers being protected by the men in the front, and then the entire battle would be about fighting from one ship to another and pushing the enemy back and out of the ship. So the side that would be losing would be caught and trapped on their own ships. So what you see here with ships sinking isn't really something that you would have a lot of, because the victor would gain a significant increase in ships after the battle, and sinking these ships that would take a long time to build and that are expertly made wasn't something either side was interested in. So mainly these ships would be linked together, and then there would be fought a single land battle from ship to ship and on each ship. So the ramming that you got in the Mediterranean wasn't really done by the Viking forefathers, or indeed by the Vikings. It was mainly about sailing up, tying the ships together, and then fighting it out ship to ship. Now another thing to note about the longboats is that they have a very low profile in the water, and they also have a very low profile in terms of they run very shallowly in the water. So what the longships could do is they could sail at full speed up to the shore, sail straight up on a sandbank, for example, row straight up. The Vikings could pour out, raid settlements, go back and get out to sea really, really quickly. So one of the advantages of these longboats was that they could strike anywhere at any time by sailing up rivers. They could basically go ashore anywhere really quickly. They didn't need a harbor, and that's part of what made them so dangerous. But a lot of the important decisive battles in Scandinavian and Norwegian history, they were fought at sea, and were essentially land battles fought at sea, because the terrain by the Norwegian coast is so hard to traverse for both infantry and cavalry, a lot of places, that it would be beneficial for both armies to be able to fight at sea, and that will also increase the chances of a withdrawal being successful, because if the earl or the jarl, the king, saw that the battle was turning sour, then he had a chance to get away. But a lot of these kings and jarls and warriors actually drowned because they couldn't swim very well, certainly not with armor. So ship-to-ship combat was very, very dangerous, very treacherous, but very different from the way ship-to-ship combat was fought in the Mediterranean. Essentially land battles at sea. Strength and honor.